Let's see, guys. Let's see, is this on or not? Dun, 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 dun. Let me make sure. Zodiac Vault. Get in here to see what's going on. YouTube Studio.
Guys, this is what happened when Churre surrounds with Churre.
Yeah, bro. This is what happens.
Production.
This is exactly what happens, bro. Everything is deciding to go bad at the same time. Let's see. And copy link. Yeah, now we're on.
Okay.
Now we're on. Let me send it back to everybody so everybody can get on. And paste.
Yep, we're officially on. I see we're on. So Pedro,
Right. Yeah.
go ahead and let's talk about your matchup. We were on our way talking about Brandon Ayuk, or in other words, Brandon Trashuk. I mean, the guy is epitome of garbage, and you traded for him. You gave away Garrett Wilson. How do you feel about that, Pedro?
I don't, bro. At this point, I don't care anymore. What is there, bro? Really think about it, Alfredo. When you suck this bad, every decision that you make, even if at the time was every expert in the world would have told you to do it, just because I did it, it's gonna go down in history as the worst trade of all time. So it's okay. It's quite all right. You know what? I was thinking about this. I was over there taking out my garbage on the other day, on Thursday, and I was looking at the garbage and I was looking at the things inside the garbage. And there are a few things in there that I like more than Brandon Ayuk. Straight up. Because think about it. You trade for a guy thinking that he is similar pretty much to the guy that you're trading for.
So you thought that Brandon Ayuk was the same level as Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, at the time, because they both are struggling. They both are having. They both have issues. There are other people on the team that are out producing him. Think about it. Alan Lazard for like 2 or 3 weeks was producing more than Garrett Wilson. So I said it's the same situation in San Francisco. Debo's doing more than Brandon Ayuk, but here we are.
I mean, Josh Jacobs did give you 20 points today.
No, yeah, bro. I wasn't worried about Josh Jacobs. My team needed running back for 1 week. 1 week. I could have waited and done something else. So unfortunately, because
Russell Wilson sucks.
Yeah, no.
I'm looking at Russell Wilson. Sorry.
No, Russell Wilson's garbage. Forget about Russell Wilson. I don't even know why he's starting. And making me drop Justin Fields because he wasn't gonna start anymore. Forget about that. So yeah, I'm done with this with this team. This team is the worst team I've ever assembled, and it's saying a lot because there's other teams in the past that I've struggled with, but I've done a lot better than this. Bro, last year's team is leaps and bounds better than what I had here. So,
I mean, just breaking down your roster, another pickup that you had this year, Jameson Williams. This is part of the earlier trade that you had with me. You got Jason Williams with Rondé Stevenson for Jordan Mason and Sam Laporta. Obviously, Laporta has been a bust. I mean, the guy is an epitome of a muerto. But Jameson Williams gave you 0.90 points. All this potential that he had, he hasn't done anything.
No. Listen, Jameson Williams is a boom bust. Forget about that. The guy, it's hilarious because the first 2 weeks he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of receptions. Me and my quarterback are gonna be on the same page. And then he goes and decides, you know what, I'm gonna catch 2 or 3 balls a game. And if it's not a long pass, I don't want it. it's hilarious, bro. But I understand that he's gonna have big games and then he's gonna have duds, and this is what I expect. Especially where you're gonna only catch 3 or 4 balls a game, and it's funny because this was supposed to be the best matchup for him, and this is what he does. So you know what? What do you want me to do?
I mean, it couldn't get much uglier, Pedro. Then we got the scare, or you got the scare early on about David Montgomery. Imagine your best player now, your best running back from your running back factory, supposedly, and now he was hurt. Luckily, he came back, but he was on his way to have you on your way to have another injured guy. I mean, like looking at your team, imagine now you have 2 players remaining. Right now, you're at 60 points. You're projected to be 78 points.
Mm-hmm.
so then you have all
Laugh it up, bro. Laugh it up.
You're the Tampa Bay tight end, and then you have Justin Tucker, and which Justin Tucker the last couple of years hasn't been doing good for you. So obviously your season is done. You're done. You're gonna have to settle to be in the Consolation Bowl, maybe in the Clown Bowl. Before we talk about specifically for next year, let's talk about what you're expecting now. What do you have to play for, Pedro?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So you're done for this year, right?
I'm done. There's no, bro. I have nothing to play for. I have no chance at doing anything worthwhile. Well, and I was thinking, oh, JT comes back. I have David Montgomery doing what he's doing, and I have at least 3 running backs that I know are gonna produce with Jacobs out there, and that's maybe 20 points from each of them is not out of the question. But then the rest of my team, what's going to happen? I have to go every week and look and scour the waiver wire for wide receivers. Every week I have to scour the waiver wire for a quarterback. Once I thought I had one, Justin Fields. Oh no, we're going to sit him because we want to. Because Russell Wilson is going to stink up the joint for 2 or 3 games, and now I'm going to get and now I'm out of a guy. So you know what? The universe has a way of telling me, Pedro, stay away from fantasy football.
Well, I mean, at least you'll have your family back. I have you already told your wife and your son that you'll be back. Daddy will be back home on Sundays. Yeah, you have no motivation, no need to do anything. Just right.
Bro, I'm seriously thinking of starting at 0 with everything.
So
everything.
So while everybody's still fighting for it, Pedro, because we're already now. What are you gonna do your Sundays? Like, what's your Sundays gonna be?
My Sundays is gonna be me looking at the games, working out because I'm gonna be so pissed off at looking at everything that's going on and me not being a part of it. Bro, I'm gonna be so swole. Like if I were to wear the clown costume, it won't fit me. I might as well wear body paint because at least in that point, I will at least be the most muscular clown of all time.
so you're getting fit for the clown suit.
Yeah, I'm getting fit for the clown suit. It's gonna be a clown body paint. I'll wear a red nose and everything, bro.
So at least we know how tall are you? So at least we have an idea what's gonna be your size.
Hey, we're tall, 5'6" and a quarter.
You're 5'6" and a quarter. And how much you weigh?
Right now, 195 around there.
195. Okay. So you're trying to what? To get to 180 or something like that so you can fit in the clown suit good?
180 stripped.
Okay.
So basically all muscle.
All muscles, man.
Yeah. So at the very least, I may be the worst at fantasy football, but nobody can whoop my ass.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this, Pedro. I mean, I know it hurts you because just so the league can know what your tradition is. Usually on Sundays, you wake up around 12 o'clock, always super late, and right away you start looking at your lineup. You start playing, starting putting the games on, and getting pumped up. go into the chat. I remember you always, call me. Hey, what's your matchup? What do you think is gonna happen? I think I'm gonna win. Something. I mean, the last couple of weeks you haven't even called me because you knew.
For what?
So, and then you will start watching the games. I know you have like 3 screens in your TV. Like, are you planning to bring down the screens now? Like, since you have nothing to do, or you're gonna dedicate yourself to the Disney Channel and watch yours with your son?
No. All the chat. I took down one of the screens already. So one of the screens is gone. We're not doing
Okay.
that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just gonna. All I'm gonna do is watch one game. My son can have the family room again, so he could do whatever it is that he wants to do over there. I'm gonna go in the dungeon and work out while I watch football and bring suffering to my body.
Pedro, maybe you can go into DraftKings. Just something to look forward to. I don't know.
For what?
Something.
Now I'm losing money too? Nah, bro. Nah.
Well, what I did wanted to ask you this, and obviously this is a dynasty league, and we have to think about the future. You cannot just drop your guys. You have to think about the future, in which I don't think you've done a good job because at least Steven knows that he doesn't have much of a chance this year, but he's already preparing himself for next year. Looking at your roster, Pedro, we're supposed to keep. You can keep up to 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna ask you, who are you planning to keep for next year? Are you planning to keep anybody?
Bro, I'm probably not even coming back next year, dog. This is how bad this has been for me. Because, bro,
You have to come back. You're gonna come back because you won a title, and you're in automatic, um, you know, participation because you won the title.
yeah. So what? Because the Mr. Olympia from 40 years ago won a Mr. Olympia, he wants to come back. He's gonna play. He's
No,
gonna get it in on stage.
no, you just do your thing and make things happen. Now use this opportunity to go into the waiver wire, see if you can unlock somebody, and I don't know. But let's look at your roster. Who are you planning to keep
Well,
for 2025?
if I were to decide to come back, if I say forget about it, forget about everything, I'm coming back, whatever, I'm gonna pump myself up just to destroy myself later. I always thought about keeping JT, Josh Jacobs, and Demont, but we let's see what happens.
What round did you get David Montgomery?
Fifth,
Okay, so you'll lose a 5th round.
maybe.
So you'll lose a 5th round. Okay, and then Jonathan Taylor, you got him in the 2nd round.
Correct.
But then, do you plan? Is this what you're planning to have? Like, do you feel that Jonathan Taylor is worth a 2nd round draft pick?
Why wouldn't he be? He's every year he has an injury. He goes down for 3 to 4 weeks, and then he comes back and he balls. So losing a 2nd round pick for 3 or 4 games sucks, but it's worth it if the guy's gonna produce.
Oh, what a catch by Pickens! Awesome, what a catch. Sorry, looking at the Steelers game. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Pedro, I mean, what's your plan? I mean, for next year?
Bro, forget about next year, bro. I'm thinking about, bro. I'm so hurt about now. I'm tired, bro. I'm just tired. I look at my team and I just get tired. I get sleepy. It's like, think about it. When you look at something that brings you pain, why would you continue wanting to look at it? I look at it in disgust. I look at it and I want to go to sleep. Why would I continue doing this to myself?
I mean, you're a competitor. What, you lost your competitive juice already?
Bro, it's just I try to be competitive. This year it took it out of me, bro. Last year I was pissed, but I was pissed to come back because I at least was competitive. Last year I was competitive. I lost close games by very little. If I would have had a different piece, I would have put this guy in instead of this guy. But bro, even the guys on my bench suck. Everybody sucks.
Yeah,
There's nothing I would have said, I would have put this guy, I would have won.
absolutely.
Every decision that I made this year, It's like Steven said, if I would have made the opposite decision, I would have won. For instance, I'll give you an example. We saw that Dontavian Wicks went down for an injury, and I had the choice
How
getting
did,
Dobbs or Christian Watson. I got Christian Watson, and Dobbs blows up. Now, if I would drop Christian Watson, Christian Watson will blow up for next week. So, yeah, I don't know what to do, bro. This is it pisses me off, but this is what it is.
looking bad, Pedro. Looking bad. I mean, I'm telling you, you have no chance. You're gonna have to maybe get some advice on it. Look, there's some people there in the chat that is offering to help you with a fantasy football. Get some hope.
No,
And
no. Tell them, listen, don't even sit next to me, bro, because that means your team's gonna suck. It's gonna like the stench of my team is gonna rub off on you, and then whatever trade that you make, whatever thing that you do, waiver wire, trade, pick up in the draft. Don't even sit next to me, bro. Your team is gonna suck just by proxy.
okay. So,
So
guys,
Armando, I love you, bro, but I can't do that to you.
so guys, Pedro, just again, he's 5'6", 190 pounds, on his way to be 180. So we can get the clown suit fitted for him. Well, another reason why I wanted to get into this podcast is obviously I wanted to talk about, and I'm looking at Russell Wilson. That I want to talk about one other person. I want to talk about the Fly,
Mm-hmm.
Danny the Fly Vasquez. As of this moment, we're at 92 to 67. That's how much we're right now. I'm at 61% chance to win. The Jets defense right now, I mean, I thought he was going to allow a touchdown, but I mean, all I have to tell you is, man, I feel so good of our matchup. And I told you, Danny, I told you that Josh Allen was going to outscore Jaden Daniels. No matter how it was going to happen, Pedro or Danny, no matter what, it was going to happen. And I did it. So, just so you have an idea, Danny, I want to go ahead and I'm going to win 2 bets from you. The Tyreek bet, and now the Josh Allen one. I'm going to take a Heineken for 1 beer. And maybe I should go with either an IPA or a bourbon. I don't know. I'll think about. I'm just gonna make that man pay up for it. And
I don't blame you, Fredo. You made a ballsy bet there,
I
and
told him it was gonna happen. You guys, both of you made fun of me, and I played that video out in the chat because it was a moment that nobody expected it. Everybody, at least both of you that were in in this podcast, were laughing and saying that I'm crazy. And at least I think if Jaden Daniels would have continued playing, it would have been much closer because as you saw, it was a full-on blowout.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to limit the throws. They were going to run the ball. But obviously, the injury helped. I mean, when I saw the shoulder injury when he was in the sideline, I'm like, bro, I did not expect that. I did not expect that for it to happen when he was touching his shoulder and then he was going to the side to the locker room. I can just imagine Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I felt my life in danger because he did say that if something would have happened, because I don't know if you saw,
Yeah.
I told him, well, unless he gets hurt. And he said, bro, if Jaden Daniels get hurt, I'm going to personally show up in your house and kill you.
Yeah.
I told my wife, hey, I need you to get some weapons, lock all the doors because I'm going to have a madman ready to show up in my house. because of what I told him exactly was going to happen.
Yeah,
So not
Alfredo.
only
Even if he shows up at your house, you would throw a pigeon from the roof, and he would get a shoulder injury too.
I mean, not. I mean, not only I outscore him by 10 points, I outscore him by 16. So it shows how dominant performance. I mean, I told him it was going to be 24-14, but it ended up being 21-5. So I'm glad to win my bet. And then also, starting this morning, I mean, I expected all week long for him to start Brian Thomas Jr. That was like the most obvious player, you know. This is the one guy that he benched when he blew up, and he kept on telling us he's a stud. He's a stud. He
Yeah, but he
is the
doesn't play
one.
yet.
He was saying that Brian Thomas was as good. Remember, he was saying as Tyreek, as Chase, that he's going to
Justin
be
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, and that he was going to be in the first round. But then, to my surprise in the morning, he bet Brian Thomas. So when I saw it, I'm like, did Danny just bench Brian Thomas? Because I was up early, I had to do something, and as I was on my way, I saw, and I'm like, this guy just benched Brian Thomas Jr. And then he put Tank Dell instead of him. So then, as the game was passing by, you know, he scored. He was like getting catches, and then he scored a touchdown. And I'm like, Danny, wow, you left Brian Thomas Jr., your stud, in the bench. He said you cannot even. So he blames me of my pigeons. That my pigeons are the ones that, yes, they did some stuff. They were out in full force to make this man's life miserable. But he did it to himself by benching Brian Thomas. If he would have started Brian Thomas, where 99% of the league would have done. Oh, and there goes Brees Hall. Armando! Wow. I can just imagine Armando jumping up and down because Brees Hall almost scored a touchdown there. Wow, what a run. So going back, 99% of the whole fantasy world would have started Brian Thomas instead of Tank Dell. But then he benched him. So if he loses, he's going to blame himself because he did the most obvious thing. So then as the game started, obviously Drake London, did what he needed to do. Tank Dell gave him a big
zero.
And then Tony Pollard, the guy that he's been saying I wish Danny would be hearing me. If he's hearing me right now, he's probably slamming the phone, but I hope he's hearing me. He kept on preaching us that Tony Pollard was going to be the one, a top 10 running back. And I told him, Danny, Tony Pollard has never proven for an entire year. He's injury prone, and things will happen. When expectation comes to him, he'll struggle. And again, he got hurt. So we're right now at 92-67. Brock Bowers did his stuff. So he has 3 players left. Well, he has the Jets defense. I mean, Jets right now, if they allow one more point, he's gonna lose 4 points there automatically because they're right at 6. And then imagine he has Mike Evans, J.K. Dobbins, and the kicker McLaughlin, and I have Zay Flowers. So Pedro, I'll ask you. Actually, no, I don't want to ask you because you might give me bad luck. So no matter what might happen.
One thing I will say, and I want to say it so everybody hears it. Danny, I wanted to give you the trade for Josh Jacobs. If you were just going to leave Brian Thomas on the bench, you should have just gave it to me and you would have had the 20 points. Because both of your both of your running backs didn't do anything for you.
Oh, that's true. So wait, so Josh
Tony Pollard
Jacobs.
gave him 8.5, and James Cook gave him 9.2.
Wow.
I don't know, bro. Like, if you were gonna leave the guy on the bench, just why didn't you trade him to me? It wasn't a bad trade,
Well, he would have. So Matt, he didn't want to trade Brian Thomas,
but he wants to leave him on
or
the bench.
but then he's leaving him in the bench.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's like I'm telling you, who screws who? The Pigeons didn't screw him. He screwed himself. He made fun of me because I made so much lineup changes. I knew who I was starting from the beginning, but I wanted to play mind games with him. And at the end, my mind games worked because he outthink himself and he put the wrong guy. It's like,
Bro, there's too many numbers going on in his head at the same time. It's he's playing a blackjack against the house, and the house always wins. He's trying to count all these cards in his head, but unfortunately, well, he just needs to play the match. He just needs to play his studs. His studs need to play. Who could he have put in his place? Let me see. Bro, Mike Evans, J.K. Dobbins, bro, Tank Dell. If he would have put Brian Thomas Jr., he would have a better chance of winning. But he probably would have won.
obviously, we all make bad moves. I do regret. I started in Joku. I should have started in Joku, but at the end, I didn't know. I wanted to give one last opportunity to Laporta, but yeah, I already made my decision on it. But still, man, it's just life is good, bro. It's like I love when Danny screws himself, and now his season might come to an end. It might happen.
Alfredo, how does it feel for all your enemies to be pretty much beaten? You beat the shark. You demolished the shark. Me, I'm a non-factor at this point, and you just defeated Danny. All
I
your
know, no, no,
enemies.
no, no, no. I haven't defeated Danny. I will say this: our matchup is not over yet.
Mhm,
I do want to say I am not celebrating victory yet.
mhm.
It's not looking good for him, but I'm not celebrating. There is a possibility for him to do it, but you never know. But right now, if I do end up beating him, I mean, I'll feel great. Alex, the league keeps on saying that my downturn, that I'm gonna fall off the cliff, and I just keep on winning. I keep on proving the league wrong. Supposedly, this was the week that I was gonna have my downfall, and I might end up winning. Injuries happen; it's part of the game.
I don't think
Sucks.
about it, Alfredo. You've had 2 weeks, not in a row, but 2 weeks that you've scored less than that so far, less than 120 points. Is the time that you face me? Well, not 120. You went with less points than you usually go to, and then you had today where you are only projected to have 106. This
Well,
isn't this not a downfall? Isn't this not like a regression?
no, because I've been averaging I still haven't had 180 point game. Okay,
And
I haven't had 180 point game. I haven't had the 180 point. It's had a regular game, nothing too
Mhm.
crazy. I've been averaging between 120, 130, just steady Freddy. I've been always over 100 points all year
Yeah,
long.
100 points is not gonna. It doesn't cut it, Alfredo. 100 points is not something that you could hang your hat on. Not this year.
Well, I
This year we
mean,
have an extra. This is point PPR, and on top of PPR, we have an extra player that we can play on the flex.
but Pedro,
So, and I'm saying because I'm one that can't figure it out.
and that's the thing, Pedro. You're right. I mean, there's teams that can't even hit 30 points. You can't even hit. You're under five. I mean, it happens. I understand. There's good weeks and there's bad weeks, and it happens. I mean, I don't think the downfall is here. This week makes me feel even better because now Amari Cooper, which I had a question, now he looks like he's gonna have a connection with Josh Allen. I found my tight end. You just have to figure out the running back situations. We're gonna have some, volatility in that. But
Mhm.
other than that, I think I'll be fine, bro. I'll be fine. Remember, and I'll tell you this, and we're gonna end tonight's podcast with this last note. I was 1 point away of still be undefeated. Steven has been the only one to beat me, and he beat me by 1 point. If I would have scored 1 point more, because I think it ended up, let me see, he beat me um 107. Yeah, see, he actually beat me by less than a point. If I would have scored 1 point, I would have been 7-0. No matter what people might say about my team. And again, I do want to call out Franklin. He wanted to talk crap about my team, but there's one thing he cannot state. I was 1 point away to be undefeated. No matter what the projection or what the future outlook, I'm I'm there. But I need to finish the job with Danny. If I finish Danny, then the league will hear from me. I will take out because no matter what they say, I'm still there.
And you think
Any
and you think that by you, for instance, beating Danny, you have another matchup next week against. Let me see.
I have Armando next week.
You have Armando next week, which Armando is not a bad team. We've looked just
No,
looking
no,
at
no.
him and what he's been able to accomplish.
No, no,
Is
no, no, no.
is nothing out of the even without his players. His most like best players getting injured and everything that's happened to him. He's still being able to put up projection, not done yet. Projection for this week, 136 points.
No, I have mad respect for Armando. He no matter what the people, and that's one guy that everybody make fun of, and he always keep on proving people wrong. Um, I have much respect to him. It'll be a great matchup next week. So if it happens, it happens. Um, after that, after Armando, I'll play Ralphie, another team. But again, Armando, it could happen. I might.
And
Hey,
what do you say about the people that are saying that of the upper echelon of teams, you are the weakest of the best?
they're so wrong. They are so wrong. That I'm telling you. And you know what? I was gonna cut off the podcast, but there's one thing I did wanted to talk about. I wanted to respond to what Franklin and Steven said about teams that they felt that they were going to, fall or never win a championship. And one of the teams that Franklin said, he mentioned my team. That my team, because of my inability or not wanting to do any trades, and that I felt in love with my players, that I'm gonna stay put and that I'm not going to win. That's his argument that he was saying. I mean, that podcast, it could be so far from the truth because and again, Franklin has been one of the biggest haters. Again, this is the one guy that I destroyed in all the way back in week 3. So he shouldn't be someone that should be talking because I destroyed him and I will destroy him again. I always end up beating him. But again, he was talking about that I fell in love with my players and that I'm someone who does not want to look. I have a plan. And I'm not sounding by Kamala Harris that she says that she has a plan and that she doesn't want to provide her thing. I'm here. I'm an open book. My plan, my running backs, yes, right now they're going through a transition. I call it like a transition. Like the butterfly or a
Mm-hmm.
caterpillar when it changes to a butterfly. Well, same thing. This is what's going right now. My team, was going through a caterpillar all year long, and now they're going through a transition to end up being the butterfly. I
Mhm.
said all along, Truba was a temporary guy. He did his part. Now looks like that in the next week or two, Jonathan Brooks will come back into the fold. And that's going to create a situation that both running backs might be competing. But
Mhm.
once Carolina are officially eliminated, it makes no sense for Carolina to have that committee. They want to know what they have in Jonathan Brooks. So when the playoff run, when their season ends, it's going to be right in the middle of the playoff. So I'm going to have an RB1 of the Panthers with a full backfield to himself in my
Mhm.
team. That's why I decided to stay put. Devon A.
Okay.
Chain, Tua's coming back. Now another
Mhm.
sack by the Jets. So Tua's coming back. And we saw how Devon A. Chain, he looked okay today. Yes, they play against the Colts. But with Tua coming back, will open up the team. And you'll see Devon A. Chain averaging maybe back to the 15 to 20 point. And if something happens to him, if you saw the Dolphins game today, the running back right, he looks very good. Jalen Wright. And then finally with Jordan Mason. That one's the tough one because McCaffrey might come back, but you never know. We have a long way to go. So Franklin wanted to, talk about my team. I'm already prepared. I have my tight ends. If something happens to Laporta, I can intervene between both him and Njoku. Josh Allen's getting better. My wide receiver is getting better because Amari Cooper now is in a better situation. It's just nothing but up. So what Franklin wanted to say about my team, is so far from the truth. It shows a whole bunch of emotions, no, back, like information, and that's it. I mean, it's looking good. That's all I had to tell you.
Yeah, and how do you feel? How did you feel when you saw Christian McCaffrey on the sideline warming up for this game?
It was a warming up.
Yeah, he was on the field. He was on the field doing some sprints here and there. How did you feel when you saw that? Or you didn't see it?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see McCaffrey. I mean, I saw him in the sidelines.
No, no, he was there. He was running around doing his thing, stretching, and I said, "Oh man, what's this guy?" In the pregame, he was doing. I'm like, "What the?" I thought he was.
Yeah,
He may just be ready to go today, and I'm like, just how they didn't say anything from one day to the next.
I keep on saying if he comes back, I don't know what might happen. I don't know what
No,
might
he's
happen.
not. What will happen is Christian McCaffrey takes over Jordan Mason, and then he's going to be basically relegated to the sidelines until maybe something else happens to McCaffrey. Maybe you
And
throw
what if
another pitch
and
in,
what if
and
that doesn't happen?
that happens.
And what if that doesn't happen? What if McCaffrey does not come back?
I know he just gave you 8 points today, so I don't know what you're looking for.
Okay. Okay.
He's giving you 8 points. It was 8 points today. It was it 6 points the last week when he got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know what you expect. He's out there with a shoulder injury.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out when the moment comes. Right now, I want to finish off Danny. Next week, I'm gonna take care of Armando, and with Armando, he's gonna feel the wrath of the pigeons. I don't know what might happen, but something might happen. That's all I'm saying. Something might happen to his play. One of his players. I don't know what,
Bro,
and he's gonna learn because he doesn't.
he
I mean,
doesn't know about the pigeons.
no. I mean, if given my choice, if there's like an injury, I would like for it to Brees Hall. If something happens to Brees Hall, I'll be, I'll be happy. So I'm not wishing any injury for Brees Hall, but I don't know. Things
Bro,
gonna happen.
if Brees Hall goes down with an injury in this game, he's done for whatever reason. I think he also has Braylon Allen, so it's fine. You want it to happen while you play him, not now.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
Of course. I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I mean, it could, Lamar Jackson, something might happen to him. You know,
Hey, I promise you, if one of my players go down, you're gonna lose Allen.
that guy doesn't get hurt. That
I
guy
got
doesn't
the
get hurt. That guy does not get hurt. So
yeah,
that's for sure. No, no matter how many pigeons you throw at him, that won't happen, bro.
yeah, and
So
even if he hits his head on the floor, and they do a quick concussion protocol on him, he's in and out. Nothing ever
yeah,
happens.
no, that guy's made of steel, man. That guy won't. No. But no. Just looking at Armando, I mean, I have respect for him, but I can't guarantee what might happen to him. So, all right, let's end this podcast. We'll keep an eye on the matchup with Danny. If not, tomorrow Monday night, Pedro. Sorry for your loss. Unfortunately, you gave the Frog a victory. I know he's flying high. His team, he got his first victory. Let's see if this will be the beginning of something much more for the Cookies. Take care, bro.
All right, Alfredo.
Take care, man.